I'll start by saying how happy I am to be here. Most of you might know, but just a few hours ago got off a plane flight from San Francisco, and I've been away for exactly 4 weeks, and so to be back here is, I'm really happy. And thank you all for, the support and allowing me that time away, and for everybody, keeping this place going so smoothly. All the reports I got were so positive. Everything just going smoothly, and that's a testament to community. So, thank you. Normally, when I come back from long trips, I usually disappear into my hut until the next morning. But because I'm scheduled to leave, I'm early on Monday morning again for a week to go to a Sangha gathering at our monastery in Italy. I thought just a good way also to connect and be part of the community. And I feel one of the key moments of our week in terms of our schedule here is the Saturday evening gathering. And so I thought to be part of that and maybe share a few words. Yeah, so the main reason for going to California was to be with family. That's where I'm from, and be with family. I was scheduled to go for a couple of weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. I was scheduled to go on the 14th of April and come back today. But on the 4th of April, I got a phone call because my mother is very unwell. She's in what's called home hospice care. And just a few days ago, she turned 95, and she's in home hospice care, and so I got this call saying, look, you need to get out here fast, like tomorrow. And so on the 5th of April, so that was a phone call at 5 p.m. on the 4th of April, and on the next morning I got on a flight. Fortunately, I had a flexible ticket. But then, fortunately, her condition stabilized within a band of stability, and so she did not pass away yet. And so I was able to be there and support her, my brother, who's a living caregiver, and also the other people looking after her. And so that was the focus of my trip there. Oftentimes in Dhamma practice, you hear a phrase, sort of food for practice, or here in England, grist for the mill, or, you've got all sorts of different phrases that we can use. And so there was plenty of food for practice. Plenty for those of us, and I think, many of us, if not most of us, if not all of us, have had situations, where, especially caring for somebody that we are close to, it brings up a lot of heart, and that's good. That's good, I think. So using Dhamma practice, if we're using our meditation, using our mindfulness, our awareness, using our understanding of the Buddha Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, what the Buddha was sharing with us, if we, go beyond mindfulness, it's not just mindfulness, but it's using mindfulness with clear understanding, and using the framework of Dhamma, like our Dhamma lens, the lenses of these teachings pointing to non-suffering, leading to non-suffering, pointing to suffering and leading to non-suffering. To see this dukkha, this discontent, dis-ease, unsatisfactoriness, stress, pain, and to understand that, and to be able to transcend that, to be able to see joy and bliss and all the happy, the other end of the spectrum, the other half of the equation, the joys and bliss and happiness, and transcend happiness. Someone might say, well, whoa, what do I need to transcend that as well? Isn't that the whole goal, is to be happy and blissful and joyful? And But bliss and joy and happiness are also impermanent. They are also transient. They're also unstable. Just as unstable as pain and suffering and stress. It's all of it is, as in terms of Dhamma, they're equal on that level. They are conditions, they are conditioned, they arise, they linger, and then they cease, whether it's bliss or pain. That's the core essence of it, is it's moving. It's moving. So the three refuges in the Buddha's teachings, Buddha Dhamma Sangha, Buddhism. So joy is not a refuge. There's no safety there. Because it's moving, it's transient, as I said. As the Buddha pointed out, it's not that what I said that makes it true. As the Buddha said, check this out, take a look. Are we always joyful? Are we always happy? Are we always discontented? Are we always feeling stress? So really take a look, and to be able to look at it through that, to really penetrate and see the movingness of it. And give it space. Give it space. So, a loved one, you get the call already having concern, for the last 3 or 4 months, concern for my mother. Was in hospital with pneumonia, and then she had her lower left leg amputated because of a blood clot, and then she's at home hospice care and in and out of hospital, and so there's a lot of concern since early January. And then you get good news saying, oh no, she's doing really well today, and then you feel joy and a bit of happiness. That's natural, but then it's interesting. I could feel myself sort of latching onto that. Oh, great. Then you get another phone call saying, no, her vital signs are really terrible today, and she's crashing, and then so it's that, actually just 2 hours ago I rang my brother to say that I got here safely, and I said, how's mom? And he said, it's a roller coaster. I said, how are her vital signs today? She said, pretty good, but 24 hours ago, 36 hours ago, they were terrible. It was a roller coaster. But if we can just be with, so taking this particular scenario, this particular story out of it, if we can feel the roller coaster, see the roller coaster, ride the roller coaster, and not get trapped in the ups and downs, but to just ride it. And when you're up at the peak, and of course I haven't been on any of these because I've been a monk for 23 years, but then these crazy roller coasters that throw you upside down and twist you around and scare the bejeebies out of you, whatever. And then you got the smooth bits, and you got the bits that are easy, and if you can really feel the easy bits and the fun bits, and feel the scary bits, feel the fear, conscious awareness, that mindfulness, and not get trapped, not grab. It doesn't mean that we never hold, but when we hold with wisdom. We hold knowing that something like, if I hold this, I hold it carefully. Hold the joys carefully, and linger, let it, it's sweet, that's a sweet moment. There's some fearful moment. Don't just hold. Really feel it, but don't get trapped in the story of fear. Oh, I'm feeling fear again, and that's the feeding fear. Oh, why am I feeling fear? I thought I should. I'm cracked that. I'm 65 years old. I've been in monastic life 23 years. I shouldn't be feeling fear anymore. Blah 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 blah. No, we're human. Sometimes there's something scary. Oh, I really enjoyed that. Sometimes, at least in my experience of monastic life, and rightly so, you get some interesting questions like, oh, do Do you still enjoy the food? Because, there's that chant that says, not for fun, eating, not for fun, not for pleasure, not for fattening, not for beautification, only for the maintenance and nourishment of this body, for keeping it healthy, for helping with the holy life. And they say, so do you still enjoy your food? Yeah. People cook tasty food to give us. It doesn't take away the taste of food, but if I cling to the joy of food, if I expect food to be tasty, if I crave tasty food, that's the stress, not the actual enjoyment. It's not that as Buddhist practitioners or as spiritual seekers of any sort that we shouldn't feel and enjoy things. Or somebody asked me about 10, 15 years ago, it was a Q&A, I can't remember the exact setting, and we were talking about, grief and things like that. And they said, well, you're a monk, will you feel sad when your mother dies? And my immediate answer, without even thinking, was, I hope so. I hope so. I don't want to, just get a news like that and somebody says, Ahimsako, you got some bad news, your mother has passed away, and just be flatliner. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's not what I want. I want to be human. It's not that feeling nothing about something is inhuman, but the way I want to be is human. I want to feel like today on the plane, there was this absolutely adorable child just kind of across the aisle from me. Don't know how old it was, maybe a year, so infant, maybe even younger. And just the joy of seeing this joyful little being. It didn't cry at all. 10 hours of flying, didn't cry. That's your model child on a flight. Most of us have had the other one as well. 10 hours of crying, screaming, But yeah, just the joy of looking over and seeing, and then also seeing like this, some of the cabin crew were just enamored with this little being, and the parents were just enamored, and just the joy of seeing that. But it's when we attach and expect and then you see maybe a child that's maybe experiencing stress and distress about being trapped in a metal tube flying at 40,000 feet. Air pressure and ears and body and stuff. So then do I need to get trapped in maybe the displeasure of having somebody scream for 4 hours or something? And just feel these things, know these things, experience consciousness experiencing changing conditions. It's all changing. I've heard for years and years, sometimes we say, when things are going bad, don't worry, it'll change. Yeah, well, it might get worse. I think we sometimes forget that. We sort of put the Buddhist Band-Aid plaster over it. Don't worry, it'll change. Yeah, it will change. But don't grab at that direction. Don't grab. It's when we grab, because to get better. No, it'll change. This too will change. So don't cling. Doesn't mean that we can't hold out hope, but it's the clinging to hope. It's like I hope that, these wars that are raging will end. I hope for my mother to be comfortable until she passes away. I hope that our community remains as harmonious as it is. Of course, but it's the as I've said over and over and over again, just in the last 20 minutes, it's the grasping and the clinging and not knowing when, how much to hold hope, how much to hold a situation. To keep urging, to doing what we can and with discernment and clarity. And we can respond, we can be present in each situation. It's like in America now, there's a lot of fear. I didn't see all that many people because I was so focused on being at home and supporting the situation there. I went up to our monastery. We have a branch monastery called Abhayagiri. It's where I became a monk. And I went up, but I could only give, I felt 24 hours. And so it was a real whirlwind, but it was just so, it was like, walking here, coming in here tonight, just being with a community. And I think the word I used when I was there it was like nectar. It was really very, very rich and uplifting. 24 hours. And apart from that, I just saw very few people outside my family and the nurses and caregivers. But every day I take a walk to go for a nice long brisk walk, and I would bump into people sometimes out walking their dogs, and a couple of exchanges, just spontaneous exchanges, and how much fear there is in America right now. A lot of fear. And we, as in our monastic tradition, we don't involve ourselves in politics. It doesn't mean we can't have an opinion, but we don't discuss it outwardly, and we don't involve ourselves at all. Our communities are open to people of whatever. We want it to be accessible to whatever political interests people have, and I really like that. But fear is a human emotion. So it has nothing to do with politics, but fear, feeling people's fear, the fear of uncertainty. And then something sweet happens. One of my walks that I like to do is, it's a small town just outside of San Francisco, just 15-20 minutes outside of the city. And I like to walk back a certain way that goes past my old school. And my walk is usually in the early evening, and this is the baseball season. And on the schoolyard is the local baseball diamond. Now, monks and nuns, we're not supposed to really be going to sporting events, so I didn't linger very long. It wasn't like I set out to go and watch a baseball game. So, just so you're aware. So, I don't have to confess breaking that rule, hopefully. But I did sit down and have a little rest. I sat at the back on the schoolyard, and I watched for a few minutes, and I've never liked baseball, even when I was baseball age going to that school. What I was looking at was the interchanges, because these are probably around 10 to 12-year-olds, 10, 11-year-olds, don't know. I'm not a very good judge. But I was watching the mood. And one of the things that I saw with, here again, feeling the fear right now, and there's so much division, not just in America, but so much divisiveness and division, and you've got two sides of the aisle, and, got polarization of opinions and views, and here we had two teams, and so how does baseball go? So, right, so you either hit the ball and you run to the first base, or I guess something happens and you get, walked. You get to walk, because it's like the pitcher, I guess, was so bad at throwing the ball that you get to walk to the first base. So anyway, this person, they hit the ball and they ran to the first base, and the other team, they've got their guard, I guess, guarding the first base. And the young lady, because it's mixed gender, it's great. And the young lady, she gave a high five to the member of the other team and hit him on the shoulder. Like, good on you, you're on base. And they were opposite team. And I saw this I was only there for like maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. I saw this a few times, different corners of the people like, yeah, good on you. Or they score a point, good on you. Maybe this isn't new, but I was like, oh, there's hope in the world. There's two sides, two teams, two different uniforms. And you got two different bleachers with the families kind of rooting for everybody. And then you had they were like, yeah, good for you. Small thing, but it was lovely to see. So then I moved on. No more sport for me. That's what I wanted to see, even though I wasn't expecting it. So. But even that, if I cling to that, just feel that joy, see that hope. Enjoy the beautiful side of humanity. Yeah, I hope that continues. I wish all of us were like that. But if we base our well-being on getting what we want, no matter how lofty it is, no matter how worthy it is, and how quote-unquote right it is, if we base our well-being on that, and it doesn't happen, then we suffer. Now, it doesn't mean we should give up hope. That's not meant to be a wet blanket. No, we should put in effort. We should, hope for these things, work for these things, encourage these things, promote it, practice it, not give up. But, as I was saying earlier a couple of times, we've got that discernment to know this, to do what we can, and as we're doing that, there's a side of it that's letting go. There's a side that's propping it up, but there's also a side that's propping it up, not like this, with closed fists, but I can hold it, and knowing the limitations of existence. And what's not limited is consciousness, is that conscious awareness that holds all of this. That conscious awareness that sees the bliss and sees the pain, feels the bliss, feels the pain, and lets it flow on through. And so these practices, the meditation that we did this evening, meditation is just a slice of spiritual practice. And it's very easy for us to potentially get overly focused on the meditation and trying to still the mind and trying to, or maybe we use the word concentrate the mind, or trying to stop the mind. And that is a useful tool to have, but it's just one slice of spiritual practice. It's developing that mind and heart, that stillness, to be able to see the things that stir the mind and the heart, see the things that we're clinging to. We need to see, because if we don't see what we're grabbing onto, we'll just get to the end of our days, and like that other chant that we do, has my practice borne fruit with freedom or insight? So that at the end of my life, then I don't feel like I've wasted my time. Freedom, has my practice borne the fruits of freedom and insight? It's not, has my practice developed the concentrated mind? No, we use the meditation to realize freedom and insight into how things work, to see that ephemeral, temporary, transient nature of all things, to understand how stress, and especially unsatisfactoriness of all things, arises and ceases. Things might be unsatisfactory, but we use it. We use what's available. The unsatisfactoriness is in the fact that it's transient. All the best things in life. It's easy to say maybe, well, wait a minute, everything is in this particular situation, it's perfect. It's perfect, it's wholesome, it's supportive and all that stuff. But the unsatisfactoriness of that, it comes because it is temporary. So that's why it cannot be lasting satisfaction. So it's not that the particular situation is unsatisfactory. It's the impermanence of it that is the issue at hand. That when things are right and good and all of that. So using our meditation to be able to see these things with clarity and understanding. So whether we're here sitting in this hall, like we are now, it's great conditions, or whether we're studying or working or whatever our life is, in our home life or in monastic life here or somewhere else, or whether we're 6,000 miles away looking after an aging, ill, sick, close relative, our practice is with us. That's our refuge. Practicing, whether we only, I didn't have much time being away for formal practice. I had my meditation every day. I'd go in between breakfast and the main meal. At midday I'd meditate, do some chanting. But even, take away that. On some days there's too much going on. So be present, to be present, aware, mindful. Goes with us everywhere. On the plane, off the plane, in the monastery, at home, in the airport, wherever we are. Awareness doesn't change. We can be aware, mindful, and applying, viewing our experience through the lenses of Dhamma. And then hopefully we can realize freedom and insight, that inner freedom, insight into reality, letting go, freedom, total freedom to feel what we need to feel, or not what we need to feel, but what we do feel. Feeling what we feel, experiencing what we're experiencing, but we're free. We don't need to be dwelling in joy. We don't need to be happy. We can, the freedom just to feel what we feel. And we can all do this, each and every one of us. Well, this is equal opportunity practice. So I think it's probably enough for me tonight. And once again, just say how much joy I feel at being back, and offer these words for reflection.